Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It's good to be here. Welcome to the Fireside Chat on SieDi-Hub. It's a pleasure having all of you here. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and I'll be your host today. It's really exciting to be on the seat as a moderator today. We have another moderator last time when we had the Fireside Chat, and today I'm privileged to be your moderator. Um, I was supposed to talk with Damian Isaac on the role that young people can play in improving their technological skills, especially now that we are in the digital space and the digital world. Somehow Damian is stuck somewhere, but let's see how it goes. If he joins us as the program rolls by, we'll bring him in and he'll tell us a few more about the work he does and a few things on teen acquisitions and all of that. A lot of times people talk about youth empowerment, youth development, but they also don't look at the very key core age group, and that's the teenage set of people who are very restless, undecisive. Sometimes they could pose a problem to their parents and the society. Is that age where they are undecided on whether they are adults or they are children? Some boldly tell their parents, Daddy, I'm an adult now. You need to know how you talk to me and all of that. So that's why the role that and the things that Damian Isaac has been doing with his Teens Can Code is very crucial, and we wanted to talk with him here on SieDi-Hub to know more about his work, his field experience, and how he's been like tackling young people in that age category. But like we said, he got stuck somewhere, and if he finds his way out, we'll have him on the show. But I have Chinasa and Lancelot here to talk with us. Just an overview of everything that's happened. We're still basking in the unveiling of SieDi-Hub. Thanks to everyone who's been following all our social media handles. Thank you so much. Keep following, keep sharing all we do here. Many more things are yet to come that you all will benefit from. So I'll bring in Chinasa. I'll bring in, I think I prefer to call him Ejike than that Oyibo name of Lancelot. I'll just bring him in and let's talk a little more about some of the things there, and then we'll take it up from there. Let me talk with Chinasa first, and then I'll come back to Ejike. Hi, Chinasa. Good to have you here.
Hi, Ambassador Emmanuel. I'm always, being in the studio with you. How come?
I don't know. I did my own JJ, and SieDi-Hub is telling me to be the moderator today.
Is something not ministering something to you yet?
What does it mean, prophetess Chinasa? Can you tell us?
I think you should figure that out. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are joining from. I'm delighted to be here this morning to, join the fireside chat conversation with Ambassador Emmanuel and Isaac Damian, who, for one, reason, is stuck somewhere and will be joining us soon. So, Ambassador Emmanuel, what do you have for us today?
Yeah, thank you, Chinasa, for that introduction. So I was going to really talk to Isaac Damian about a few things, especially as it works around teenage and all of that. But let me also ask you this. There is this divide. People say young people of today have more opportunities than young people of before because there's the internet now. Whatever you need to do, all you need to do is type in a Google search and it will bring options for you. But there is this other school of thought who feels that young people before had better chance because they had more quality of life, adult supervision, unlike now where you have more parents, both parents walking, jumping out of the house every morning, especially the Lagos scenario where father and mother, they are rushing off the home at 5 a.m., coming back at 11 p.m., and then going off again. Some children hardly know their parents, except maybe they jokingly say during environmental sanitation in Lagos or during strike actions or ASU strike or something. So where will you place young people? Would you say they are more privileged with the digital skill age, or would you say they lack more adult supervision, as our maybe parents would say that their time, everyone was everyone's guardian. Children were scared to do a few things because their parents would get to know. Where do you stand in this both school of thoughts?
Thank you for that question, Ambassador Emmanuel. And before I answer you, I just want to give a little bit of background on why we are even, I'm here talking to you. Like you rightly mentioned, SieDi-Hub, we just got launched, and we are trying to build a responsive and inclusive program that incorporates a sustainable approach, like that uses sustainable approach to do things. So we are looking at different parts of um, opportunities, advantages, and gaps in program designing. And bearing that in mind, we chose to do things like, stakeholders engagement, which this fireside chat conversation is part of it. Then also do background analysis, using research and data gathering. So one of the reasons why we are doing this is because we don't want to just create program that will create more problem to the already existing problems in the society. So, and you know that our core area is working with the youths. This is young people, and by definition, I know we categorize, by definition, young people are categorized between the ages of 18, some 18 and 24. Some categorize young people between the ages of 16 to 35. In Nigeria, youths are from 14 years to 40 years. If you fall within that range, you are actually a young person in Nigeria, because we have a gap between childhood and youth. The adolescent age sometimes is kind of like, removed from the demographic categorization. So we want to make sure that immediately after childhood, that we capture the interest, of post-childhood up until, maturity. Now, coming to your question, we have to look at community organizing and development. How do we organize our communities, and how do we grow, in terms of social, cultural development? Our original setting before the advent of, influx of technology is a unit, which is a family with mother, father, extended relations, children, living in units, and all these units in pockets come together to form communities. And this community, they work together to grow, to bring up a child. So you will see the contribution of parents, cousins, uncles, nephews, and nieces, you understand, directly influencing the growth process of a child up until adulthood. But now, our community our society generally have expanded to include other variables with, i.e., you've talked about teenage age, you talk about technology age, which is booming now. Now we have communication, unlike before. I know very well that people used to do write later, those days, and do pen pal just to make friends with people in other part of the world. But now with phone, with technology, it's a click away. So how do we put those new variables into consideration on how a child grows? I wouldn't say that the previous method was better, or that the new one is creating issue. It's just about how we prioritize what is important in the growth process of a child into, youthhood, and what we make them understand as valuable. Internet technology, innovation has helped us increase intelligence, questions the IQ of a child, has helped us broaden how a child think strategically and technically. It has also helped us see the world in a different way, but it also created some level of problem that we sometimes might now consider using, social structures to bring decorum to. So, but it is for us to figure out what is best for young people. How do we use all these methods
Skills
that are
available.
available to them to make them grow and become independent, to have independent mindset, but also become good people in the society that are contributing to growth and development. I think we have Damian in the house, and I am happy to
Yeah.
allow him continue this because it's his field and he's an expert in this area. So thank you for your question.
Okay, Chinasa, thank you so much for that. So I'll bring in Damian now to talk with us. I'll also crave the indulgence of Chinasa and Ejike to still be on standby. I might have one or two questions for you, depending on the conversation thoughts and lines that I and Damian go through. So I'll just bring in Damian. We already very late. I think he's gone off again. Please, Damian, could you join back so we could have you online and take the conversation from there? I like the fact where Chinasa talked about parenting and society having to find a way to cooperate all the digital skills and all the available forms of grooming the young, whether from the previous or from the current, to make the child a better person. There's really no hard and fast rule about teens development or youth development, because you just mix in a potpourri of different available abilities to do all of that, just mixing the analog, the digital, the communal parenting, and the digital parenting. I know a lot of parents who also have a way of setting CCTV cameras in their homes because they are working parents and then they have to have house helps and all of that. So they set cameras in the home. So while in the office, they can monitor what goes on in the home. Technology has also made for easy conversations. So parents travel outside the country, they can always do a WhatsApp video call with their spouses, their children, everyone in the home, and all of that. And let me see if Damian is back. Damian is not back, so I'll bring Chinasa back to talk with us a little more, pending when we have Damian join us again. So yes, Chinasa, I'm bringing you back again. I think we lost the connection with Damian. So I was also going to ask, these days, parents have this thing about insisting that their children must go to school. And we've seen with the new age that kids must also learn a trade. Kids must learn skills. Yes, it's very beautiful to acquire education, but we've seen that digital skills, vocational skills are just it. Now, service rendering generally are just it. So let me still pause you, Chinasa, and then see if I can bring in um, um, Damian to still speak with us. I think he's here. So I'll just try and see how I can bring him in, and then we talk more. Damian, can you hear me?
Muted.
Hello, Damian?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Sorry, I
Yes,
think I
I
was
can.
muted for a while.
Yes. Oh, okay. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. So we're live, and you're welcome to the Fireside Chat on SieDi-Hub. And you are on our spotlight today, and you are on our hot seat. It's good to have you, although some of our viewers have also been waiting. But we'll just jump straight right on. I'd like you to tell us more about yourself, the work you do, and any other thing you'd like our viewers to know about who Damian Isaac is.
Oh yes. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah. So first off, I'm really so sorry about joining this meeting this late. I like to be on time for meetings like this. So, but I was telling AGK early this morning, I think around 8 a.m., that I don't even know why I picked 11 a.m. for this meeting today, because sometimes I just go to for some field work, and when I get to office it's like around 11. So I was just telling him that today I hope I'll be able to make it. I was trying to, but again there was so much traffic on the road, so I had to even come down from the car, give it to my friend to drive, and then you know took a tricycle that was even faster, to maneuver the whole traffic. I had to even video call him at some point to see what was happening. Yeah, so I'm really so sorry about that. Yeah, my name is Damian Isaac, and I'm the team lead at Teens Can Code. And what we do at Teens Can Code is to help young people, especially those living in marginalized communities, access technology, education, and opportunities. And we do this through various programs. One of them is empowering them with technology skills, and then the other is also empowering them with entrepreneurship skills. So we've been doing this since 2016 that we started Teens Can Code. Um, so let me just apologize. There's some kind of noise in my background because we're also, renovating the space, working to expand something. So yeah, in case the noise is coming in, I'm really so sorry about today. Yeah, so that's what we do at Teens Can Code, empowering young people to access technology education, technology skills from programming, data analysis, and then of course the business of technology. And one of the major things that we do with our young people is to help them be able to discover or find problems around their communities and be able to profile solutions to the problems in their community. So we have programs that we do that with, like our hackathon, our demo day. So hackathon is where young people rapidly come together to brainstorm and come up with a technology idea to solve problems. And then the other demo day is just an open day where young people come together to, talk about ideas basically. Yeah, so we started with just teaching coding, and our program has pretty much expanded into various aspects of technology. And we're also expanding to reach even people beyond the teens age. Yeah, our name says Teens Can Code, but we're registering another organization, registered actually, so that we'll be able to reach even people above 20 years, 35, like what we're doing currently at our hub. Yeah, so that's what Teens Can Code is about. And for me, I am a technology inclusiveness advocate. So I like to advocate and speak about technology inclusion for people living in marginalized communities. I like to speak to educational facilities, schools, administrators, educators themselves about how they can use technology, include technology in their whether in their curriculum, in their school activities, and basically education and educators, educational facilities, leveraging on um, technology tools that can help their work, speed up their work and also upskill the young people that they teach. So that's what I do. I do that from the Teens Can Code approach. But also personally, I am also involved in working to create tools that impact the public generally. So I have my hands on different technology platforms where I support either the founders, support partners, to come up with tech solutions. I'm also very keen interested in civic technology, so I am involved in quite a number of civic tech platforms where they build technologies that enable societies, technology that helps that helps engage the populace, that helps engage citizens, help governments interact with citizens and all that. Yeah, so that's basically what I do as a social entrepreneur and a social innovator.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Damian, for that. So yes, in case you just joined us, our guest is already here on the hot seat. Damian Isaac, the founder of Teens Can Code. If you have questions for him or comments, drop it in the comment section, and as we go on in the program, we'll read them and just do all of that. I'm still here. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. I'm the moderator for today's Fireside chat with Damian Isaac on SieDi-Hub. I've got a message here, and it's from Silas. Silas. It says, "Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here." Thank you so much, Silas, for dropping your comments and letting us know that you're already watching us. So keep watching and join in the conversation. Drop your comments for our guests. We'll read them, and then he will respond to them. So let me come back to Damian once again. I asked Chinasa previously before you joined that there are two different school of thoughts. You know, some feel that previously young people growing up previously had better opportunity of growing up because they had more parental upbringing, so to say. Everyone was everyone's neighbor. Parents could leave their children in the care of their neighbor, knowing that they could go to the marketplace and the children are safe. I know my grandparents always telling me that they could leave their houses unlocked, go to market, come back. A breastfeeding mother could leave her baby sleeping and tell the neighbor, "Please let me rush to the market and come." And you are rest assured that even when the baby starts crying, your neighbor will pick the child, even do better than the mother. But these days, if you see a child doing something wrong and you correct them, if you happen to be a single girl or a married woman who doesn't have a child, you might just go run into trouble because the parent or the mother of that child will tell you it's because you don't have a child of your own, so you want to kill her own child and all of that. So I say there are two school of thought. Some say children of these days have better access to digital skills where they could learn. If they have confusions, they just type on the Google and it brings up options for them. Or the school of thought which says previously children were better off with the home training they had then. What's your view on this?
Um, yeah, like you rightly said, for us, growing up too, social media was more like, coming out on the streets to play with every other person, roll tires on the streets, uh, play football and all that. That was what social media was like. That was what social was like for us, growing up. But today we are in a world where the word social has changed, and especially because technology has redefined what social is right now. So social can be you just sitting in your room and you're interacting with the global world. So yeah, for one, I really would say that for a lot of young people born from like say 2000, and they are born with technology in their hands. So yeah, we can expect that they would always be around technology. But to think about it, which one I would rather pick, I think I would still like today's world because I really can't even imagine life without technology, what life without social media, So yes, of course, there's a part of safety. Our parents talked about how they could leave houses open, like you rightly said. But today, we have such security both on online and insecurity online also. Yeah, but I really can't tell why it was like that then, because even while I was growing up too, there were lots of insecurities that were around my part of the area where I grew up. Things like Bomo Bomo in Lagos then. So Bomo Bomo was like they said literally. How do I even put it? Literally, it means pick a child. So you hear about people who go to streets and pick children. So these insecurities were there then. Uh, so parents were either more careful or, some areas just didn't have, they didn't just have it really bad. Yeah. So, but in today's world, social media has made everybody, stay indoors. But still, there's a lot of insecurities both on social media and in the physical world. So I want to be sure that I get your question really, so that I'm really
Yes,
answering, giving the right
yes, you
answer.
did. Yes, you did, Damian. Thank you for that. Yeah, when you talked about Bomo Bomo, I also remembered,
Mm,
like you said, in Lagos, you had Bomo Bomo, but in the Southwest, you had things like Willy Willy in Benin,
Yeah,
in Warri. Parents were
yeah,
scared of letting their children walk back home from school because their children would
yeah,
disappear, so to say. So let me come back
yeah,
to what you do in Teens Can Code. I know every time we talk to people, they usually talk about the success stories, the very good, impacting and impactful stories of the organizations. But sometimes I prefer really bringing out the challenges, because that is where you appreciate the strength and the success stories, so that people don't think that everything is all rosy when it comes to teens empowerment and all of that. I know I'll still come to ask you about some of the success stories that Teens Can Code, have achieved over the time. But what are some of the challenges that you faced? I mean, how do you come about, not just for fundings, because you might have fundings, and if you don't have a vision and a monitoring and evaluation mechanism, it might not work. But how do you even cope sourcing and getting these teens to benefit from some of these programs? Because with youth development, sometimes even your beneficiaries could give you serious headache. So let's start with um, finding how you are able to source the beneficiaries, and how have you been coping? Could you take us through some of the challenges you faced? And then I'll come back and read some of the message I've got here. Solomon Iberi has a message here. Thank you, Solomon Iberi. I'll read this, but let me come back and ask you this, and then you let me know.
okay. Yeah, so of course, there's really no endeavor that doesn't have any challenge, right? So whatever endeavor you start, whatever anything you want to do, there's always the challenge there. Even if it's just waking up in the morning and you say you want to just have fun. So whatever fun it is you want to do, there's also the challenge of waking up to either go make the food you want to eat, waking up to go do, to even just go out there to do whatever you want to do. So those challenges are always there. So yeah, and for the social sector in Nigeria and for us in the digital skills space, there's quite a number of those challenges. One of them is infrastructure challenge, um, and infrastructure like power issues, like internet infrastructure, which is the big problem in Nigeria. Power has been the problem before I was born, and it's still a problem till today. So yeah, there are these underlining um, institutional challenges that are there that would want to, literally stop the work that you're doing. But for beneficiaries also, I always look at it as a win-win situation, So like the beneficiaries are always excited to receive the knowledge that we have for them. They're always excited to learn what we have for them. And then we are also very excited and fulfilled to have been a part of their success story. So for us, I see it as a win-win thing. The beneficiaries are happy, we are happy, both parties are fulfilled. Uh, the beneficiaries get the skills that they want, So, and then in terms of real challenges, so we go to communities where they do not have access to technology, communities where some of them, the only school that has a computer is maybe one school that has like three computers, and out of the three, maybe only one of the computer is actually working. So yeah, there are lots and lots of these challenges. And one thing that we do as an organization is to always be strategic, because especially in a place like Nigeria, you always have to be strategic, because if not, you will just see that you are not delivering value. And the reason is because there are just a lot of challenges out there to make your work look ineffective, right? So you go to a community and you want to do something, you are heavily prepared. You came there with your internet, and then only to try to connect to the internet and it's not working, So in that case, sometimes you're wondering, okay, what do we do? How do we quickly improvise right now? So there are just lots of challenges in a place like Nigeria. So you always have to be strategic. You always have to be innovative in the work that you're doing. So every time you're thinking, what if we go to this community and this doesn't happen? This thing that was, we have planned out like this. Well, what if we get here and it's really not working? And I'm speaking about when we really started, when it was about me and a few teams going to different communities to do this program. So now it's quite easier because we're blessed with amazing network of volunteers. We have over 1,000 volunteers that help. Actually, over 2,000 volunteers when we need them that are ready to carry out works in different communities. So yeah, the challenge now has moved from just a small team trying to deliver value into now we managing the volunteers that we have and also learning from the experiences that they have. You know, we have volunteers who come and tell us, oh, we went to this school, they accepted, but this one is not working. And many times when they give me those things, I smile because I know that this is what we have also been through as, you know, the founders of the organization. We've been through these things when you go to communities and certain things are just not working. So for our space, there's quite a number of challenges that even when it looks like you're really prepared, some challenges are things that you can't even fix. You know, and you get there and it makes you look so ineffective. And why I said strategy, one example of our strategy is that when we started early, we were looking out for volunteers who can also come volunteering with their laptops. So that makes our work easy. So they come with their laptops. Let's say we have 15 volunteers with their laptops. It means that we have 15 laptops to work with in that community. And then it means that with 15 laptops, we can reach, say, 30, 20 young people or 50 even at a time. We can pair some of them, two, three persons on a laptop. So that's where strategy comes in. You're thinking about, okay, what else can we do? This community don't have. And I'm speaking, there's a particular community called Ikola in Ipaja. We worked there for quite very long time, over a year. And Ikola Ipaja, I bet a lot of people don't know that place because myself, I didn't know that kind of place existed in Lagos until I went there. If you know Ipaja is quite popular, but there's a place called Ikola. This area they have nothing, no internet, no school that has any computer at all. I think they only have one public school in the whole of that community. So we worked with a school that has a lady who has what she calls street school, where young people just come to her building, and then she coaches them and all that. So what we did was to get some students from a closer community where we have been taking them, a private school that has, this was a rich school, right? So their students had laptops. So we trained the students and we created a system where the students can give back. So every once a week, we come to the school must take these children, that very village. And then we have lots of equipment, internet, students also excited to want to give back in this kind of community because some of them also have never been or even heard about Ikola community, and they are excited to come see people in that community and also teach them. And let me stop at that because I don't even know how many minutes or hours we're going to be spending here, so I don't stay so long on one question.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Can you hear me?
Damian. So in case yes, I can hear you, Damian. Thank you so much. So in case you just joined us and you'd like to drop a comment for our guest, please do drop them on the comment section. And welcome to today's SieDi-Hub Fireside chat. I am your host or moderator for today. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. I'm a broadcaster and also a social worker with African Focus for Youth Development. Today, we're looking at how young people are using innovative technology, to increase skills and all of that. And no other better person can do this for us than our guest, Damian Isaac, who is the founder of Teens Can Code. Let me read a few messages that are here, and then Damian will respond to them. I got this one, a very lengthy one from Solomon Ibere. It says, "Good morning, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. Mr. Damian, I don't think of young people are really given that chance to use technology these days because many parents don't really believe in it, and they will want their kids to really take after them, and they don't see it as a good idea. So how do we convince our parents to allow the children get access to all of these because they believe that most of them get spoiled with social media. Damian, would you like to respond to this before we go take the next message from Jonathan Ajuma? Could you quickly respond to this, Damian? You have to unmute.
All right, thank you. I thought I was unmuted already. Yeah, so I was saying that the challenge is the same everywhere. Even in Lagos here, there are some people that still do not even know um, what technology is at all. There are some people, schools that we go to, and the principals, I'm talking about principals who are supposed to be educators, are asking us, what is this coding about? Some of them act like they've never even heard, not act really, some of them have really never heard anything about coding before. And then there are schools where you go to, just like what Ebere just said now, they are also very skeptic about introducing technology to their kids because they feel like if we introduce technology to them, it will either harm them or will expose them to something very bad. In fact, some schools have told us that no, we don't want this because if we do this, our children are going to be doing Yahoo with it. So there's a lot of things that we hear from educators. This one is even parents, so it's not a problem when parents feel like uh, they don't want their kids to do anything tech because they really do not know. And it is even forgivable for me if parents say that. But I'm just trying to say that educators themselves, who are supposed to know better, still have a problem with this. So how much more some parents who do not know? So the truth is, parents will only teach what they know to their kids. And so one of the things that we do at Teens Can Code is to not only engage young people. So we have moved from just coding programs to young people into having workshops for educators, for teachers, for parents. So we hold town hall meetings for parents. We're always excited when schools invite us to their PTA meetings to talk to parents. In fact, we always, go to schools and say, when are you having your parents teachers meeting? We just want to have like a session, 15-minute session with them, and we're able to talk and convince parents about it. There are also schools that want to do tech programs, STEM, coding, robotics, and all that. But they also have issues with selling the programs to parents because, of course, the truth is these technology skills that we're talking about comes with a cost. So some schools wants to do this, but they're like, who is going to take on this cost? If we tell the parents, parents are not willing to pay. So what we're doing today is advocating for a technology inclusive society where both parents can understand the importance of technology. But really, I think recently, for instance, we have our hub in an area called Alimosho in Lagos. It's not the highbrow area, right? And I was just speaking to one of the parents here yesterday in the hub. I said, I'm really stunned at the reception that we have had since we moved into this environment. How that parents have been receptive to what we do. You see parents coming in every day calling and all that. I want to enroll my kid. I want to do this. So I feel like the more we keep talking about the power of technology, the more we keep talking about skills, the more parents get to know about these things. There are parents that came in here and they're like, oh, their children have been telling them about these things. They don't know what it is. Can I explain to them what this is? So it's our responsibility to begin to change this narrative from parents who think that technology is going to cause more harm. The truth is, if we do not expose them to this, it will cause more harm to the children, actually. So it is important that parents know that the kids needs to be exposed to technology. They need to understand that the future depends on this. I mean, today's world is run by technology. Today's world is run by coding, from opening doors in the bank, using your card, phones, everything is actually powered by technology. Every
Okay.
industry today is, being enabled by technology, from agriculture, housing, everything is technology today. So it's important that we begin to inform parents. And I feel like this advocacy work that we are doing as Teens Can Code and many other organizations in Nigeria is actually paying off. We don't really get those questions as we used to when we started in 2016 about what is coding, what is this. Now parents have been hearing it. Oh, I don't know what it is, but I want my son to be part of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. We'll be wrapping up shortly, but let me also read this other message from Jonathan at Juma, and then you'll respond to it, and then we'll come back and wrap up. It says, indeed, innovative technology has enhanced the level of learning of individuals and organizations alike, not only the children, but the aged and the young as well. Okay. I think it's just the comments from
Yeah.
Jonathan Ajuma. Thank you so much. So as we wrap up, Damian, I need to ask you this. So what's the way forward? Because parents, even highly educated parents who are even exposed, you find them in public spaces brag about, I can't let my kids have an Android phone. I can't give my kids phone. And I'm wondering if anything happens like an emergency, how do you reach your child? Because for everything that you think might be bad, there's always a good side of it. I know when social media came up, even religious leaders were against social media. Some said it was from the pit of hell. Facebook was that. It was this. You are serving a mami water and all of that. But religious groups are now streaming online with Facebook, YouTube, and other means. So it just shows you that the world is integrating digital and analog. Many programs these days will tell you it's hybrid. If you can't attend physically, you can join, virtually. No thanks to COVID that brought all of this in innovation. So yes, we could talk forever, but how do we reach out to those hardcore parents, society, and organizations who still believe in the hardcore way of doing things? A lot of organizations now will employ their staff and say, you know what, you can work from home. Let's have one virtual meeting once a week. We all work from home, and when it's really, really, really necessary, we can come to the office once in 2 weeks and do all of that. So as we wrap up, what will be your final words to integrate people into using innovative technology to solve issues, not just for teens, because things can function if the society and the older ones don't give them that leverage and believe in opportunity to function.
Yeah, I mean, very, very correct, honestly. For instance, myself, for years before we set up our space where we work from, I work from the home, from home, and my mom stays with me in my house. So, so for a long time, she had issues with understanding what I really do, like working from home. But she knew that, one, she was sure that her son can't be doing anything bad, but still she wasn't really very sure, like, so how are you working from home exactly? Like, you're just in the house, people are going out there, going to work, and you just say you're sitting at home. And then so
So
when
how do you
maybe
get salaries?
exactly,
If you are
so
not doing Yahoo.
exactly, yeah. So she tells people her son doesn't do Yahoo, but she's not exactly sure what this guy is doing. How do you get paid? And then sometimes when you have maybe as a young guy you have issues, maybe there's no money in your hand at the moment, and then that's the opportunity to come and preach work to you. She feels like you're just not doing anything. You can't be you can't be a man and you're not going out. You have to go out and all that. So there are lots of parents like that, and like you already rightly said, it's not just about engaging teenagers, right? It's also about engaging the older ones to understand that things have really changed. And that's one of the things that, like I said earlier, that we engage with the older ones, we engage with parents to let them know that things have changed. And especially people who have this mindset are people way over like 50 years. You would agree with me. So, and these people most times are not in the high income areas. Most of them are in the low income areas. And what we need to do is to begin to create programs like this to marginalized communities, like we're doing in Teens Can Code. Many organizations focus where they can make a lot of money. They have their customers who are going to pay for technology education. But we are focused on low income communities. Like you again said, that COVID has really proven that things needed to change, and after COVID, a lot of organizations took advantage. Oh yeah, you guys can actually work from home. If we did it during COVID, then we can still continue right now. And that's why we see a lot of virtual opportunities, virtual work, everywhere. So yeah, what we need to do is to take these programs to those communities, whether they are just awareness programs, create workshops for parents to understand um, that a child, first of all, is carrying laptop doesn't mean the child is doing Yahoo. And they need to understand that there are many jobs that people can do from the comfort of their home without leaving their house. The same way you go to an office and you sit down, work from morning to night. It's not like you're working about. You're sitting down in an office with a computer in your hand. So why can't you really sit down at home and do the same thing that you can do in the office? So I think that's the easiest way to introduce these things to the parents. Another one is when they begin to see the results, right? When they begin to see the results, I'm sure like my mom had to change her mindset. In fact, there was a time she would when I tell her I know what I'm doing, she'll be like, "Yeah, you know what you're doing, but you don't know what is doing you." So, but when she started seeing the results, she heard that, oh, her son is now traveling and everywhere. They are celebrating him. So now, yeah, exactly. So when the money is coming up, and especially when the money is coming and it's legal money, not just the Yahoo money, they can say, okay, yeah, so maybe this thing. So today, my mom is not of that school of thought that you can't work from home. Now she's even encouraging other people, go and learn a skill. You can just be in your house and be making money. She's telling our cousins, you can just stay somewhere and you're making money. You don't have to be suffering yourself every day. So yeah, that's what we need to do. Get the information out there. Information brings illumination. When people know, they will change their mindset about certain things. Yeah.
Okay, so one quick one before we leave. SieDi-Hub just unveiled recently, and they will be working with a whole lot of people, especially around the work that you do. And I know there will be partnerships, from SieDi-Hub to Teens Can Code and all of that. So how do you also find how other people who work with young people, women, young girls, because we talk about girl child education, and we don't also see that we can integrate digital skills into the girl child education. Very few girls still do technically inclined things. It's strange when you see a girl in an engineering class. You might just see 100 boys there and maybe 3, 4 girls in that place. Even when they want to, life's pressure and campus pressure will drop a lot of them even before they get into year 2 or 3. So how do you what would be your advice to SieDi-Hub in terms of collaborations, partnerships? What can Teens Can Code come in for SieDi-Hub in terms of partnership and advice for them as is, ruffle through this journey of human development?
Yeah, so I think you've really given answers to the question already. Like you talked about collaborations and partnerships. I think that is very key for SieDi-Hub to do. One of the things that helped us as Teens Can Code as an organization is we have leverage and we keep doing that, on collaborations, partnerships. So we started Teens Can Code in December 2016. Apparently, we actually started real work 2017, and by 2018, we got the Queen's Young Leaders Award from the Queen of England, and that result within 1 year was not an accident. We really did a lot, and one thing that helped us was partnership. So within the space of 1 year, few months, we partnered with big organizations like Andela, and Andela is a big name. I don't know if you know Andela. So Andela is a big name in Nigeria around 2017 when they were quite hot, And then we partnered with these guys. They gave us their volunteers. They didn't give us money. So even though a lot of people thought that, oh, this guy Andela has given these guys money, they didn't give us money. But what they gave us was that they allowed their staff volunteer with us. So we had access to over 100 Andela staff that were working with us. And in just within 1 year, few months, we were in different communities. People were talking about Teens Can Code everywhere on the media. And it felt like Teens Can Code had been there for years. And in the same 2017, I attended a Microsoft meeting. I think that was around December actually. I remember the time during the Computer Education Week in December with Microsoft, and everybody in that space, even the moderator, they kept saying things can code, what things can code is doing. And after the event, some people came to me saying, you guys have been there for like 5 years, and you guys have been, and we were barely 2 years. But because of the noise in the media, people thought that we've been there for years, and that came through um, strategic partnership with Andela. They didn't give us any money, but we used that very well. And we were making noise about our partners. That's one thing we like to do because they are a big name. So we make noise a lot about them. Yeah, come see, we're working with Andela. It doesn't, I don't mind if people think that, oh, you guys have collected money. It's not my business. We know we didn't take any money, but working with that big name, we made a lot of noise about them. And then in 2018, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, LSCTF, gave us it was just #1 million, 1 million naira. And what we did, we made so much noise that people would think that they gave us 10 million naira or even 100 million because we spent all the 1 million naira went into the project, and we were putting more money to make noise about it that a government agency has given us this money. We didn't talk about the amount, but we did so much publicity around it. We did the work, and we did even beyond their expectation. And today we're working like they are one of our big partners, the LSCTF. And so with other organizations, with Leap Africa, I'm a fellow of Leap Africa. So one thing we do with our partners is that we give them beyond what they expect. Partners or people who give grants because they expect value. So what we do is to do beyond what you're expecting, the value you want. We give you beyond your expectation, right? So if you're expecting us to give you 100% value, we give you 150% value, and we make noise about our partners. So that's one of the things and that's why I said you actually answered your question. Collaboration partnership is one of the things that I feel like SieDi can start doing, to grow their network, to scale their impact in Abia State. So yeah, I think there's another question you asked that I'm trying to remember. The last line.
Yeah, I think you answered all in one. Yeah, you answered all in one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for that. I really want to thank our guest, Damian Isaac, founder of Teens Can Code. I sincerely want to thank everyone who joined us on the show, everyone who sent in messages, from Silas to Solomon Ibere, to Jonathan Ajumaya, and to everyone who watched, even though you didn't send a message. Thank you for joining us. And yes, my name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and it's been amazing being your moderator on today's episode of SieDi-Hub's Fireside Chat. And thank you all for joining us, and keep the conversations going. You can still drop your messages after the show. The videos are still here. You can watch, comment, and share, and that will guide us on the next topic to bring, and also how we can move on. I'll quickly take this message here and then wrap up. This is from Oka Oji. Is it Diama? It says, well done, sir. Well, thank you so much for watching. And well, till we see you on another episode, I remain yours sincerely, Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, urging you to have a beautiful, beautiful day and take care of yourselves. And remember to touch a life. That is the essence of living. From all of us in SieDi-Hub, take care of yourselves and God bless.